Warning. Censorship. Warning. Censorship.
The Independent Police Conduct Authority, the IPCA, link is external, is an oversight body entirely independent from the police and headed by a High Court judge, the authority. The authority is governed by an Act of Parliament, the Independent Police Conduct Authority Act 1988. The IPCA has statutory powers of investigation, protected disclosure, and interview. Any complaint or other matter notified to the authority will be categorized by the authority depending on the perceived seriousness of the incident and the expectations of any investigation. This categorization, investigation directive referred to police and oversight of that investigation is entirely the prerogative of the IPCA, and the IPCA may in addition independently conduct their own investigation. The IPCA may release their findings in a public report. They may also make recommendations to police on aspects where they perceive improvements to police policy, practice, or operational procedures can be made. Internally identified possible breaches of the Police Code of Conduct. The Police Code of Conduct guides the judgment, choices and actions of all police employees. It sets out the high standards of conduct our communities rightly expect as well as what employees can expect of each other. There is an expectation under the Code of Conduct that all employees will follow our values of professionalism, respect, integrity, commitment to moral and the treaty, empathy, valuing diversity. If an employee is alleged to have fallen below that expected standard, an employment investigation will commence to consider the circumstances, determine if the Code of Conduct has been breached, and if so determine the appropriate action to be taken. The Memorandum of Understanding. The Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, between police and the IPCA, the authority, PDF 102 KB, outlines matters that are outside the remit of the Independent Police Conduct Authority Act 1988, but which have been agreed are of concern to the authority. This includes criminal offending or serious misconduct by a police employee, or where the matter is of such significance or public interest that it places or is likely to place the police reputation at risk. The Commissioner may notify such matters to the authority. OC spray. OC stands for oleoresin capsicum, an extract of the capsicum family of plants that includes chilies and bell peppers, hence also being known as pepper spray. The spray is a lachrymatic agent that irritates the eyes to cause tears, pain, and temporary blindness. It is mandatory for constabulary and authorized officer employees to carry OC spray at all times while on active duty. It is mandatory when OC spray has been used to provide first aid aftercare, and to seek medical attention if there are any complications. It is mandatory for every use of OC spray to be reported and recorded, and for the appropriateness of that use to be assessed. Police employees. There are two types of police employee: constabulary, possessing constabulary powers as defined by Section 4 of the Policing Act 2008, such as arrest or search and seizure, and who have sworn an oath to the Crown, sometimes referred to as sworn. Other police employees, civilians who have no constabulary powers. The statistical tables also include employees who have not been positively identified, and police as an organization. As further quarterly statistics are released, the figures may change through employees being identified in the course of the investigation as constabulary or other police employees, or because it transpires the incident has no individual culpability but rather a need for systemic improvements by police. Section 13 of the Independent Police Conduct Authority Act 1988. The section of the Act stipulates that whenever police, acting in the execution of duty, causes or appears to have caused serious bodily harm or death to any person, notification to the IPCA is required. Serious bodily harm. What constitutes serious bodily harm will depend on the circumstances of the incident and the nature and seriousness of the harm sustained by the person harmed. The nature of the harm would include any fracture, deep laceration, injury to internal organ, impairment of a bodily function, blow to the head that causes severe concussion, or injury that results in admission to hospital. By statute, incidents of serious bodily harm must be notified to the IPCA. Exception: dog bites where the injury is not a deep laceration or puncture and the subject has been admitted to hospital only to allow the wound to be washed out and sutured before the subject is discharged. Dog bites are a mandatory reporting category of their own in any event. Service centres encompass police communication centres, the Royal New Zealand Police College, RNZPC, Police National Headquarters, PNHQ, and all other groups that are not part of a police district. Service centre employees may be located at a district headquarters, or at Police National Headquarters in Wellington. Service centres may provide a service internally to the organisation or externally to the public. Significant events include, but are not restricted to, a police pursuit resulting in injury or death, a suicide or attempted suicide in police custody or immediately following an interaction with police, a use of force by police, such as taser, OC spray, baton, or dog bite, resulting in serious bodily harm or death, a use of a mechanical restraint resulting in serious bodily harm or death, a discharge of a firearm by police whether intentional or unintentional, or resulting in no injury, or death, a serious bodily harm or death caused by police by any other means, an action by a police employee that may bring police into disrepute or undermine trust and confidence in police. When such events occur, it is standard practice for police to conduct a review of the circumstances and actions, to determine that best practice and procedure was followed according to policy, and if there are any lessons to be learned or further actions to be taken. When such events occur, it is mandatory to notify the IPCA. Taser: an electroshock weapon firing barbs attached by wires to batteries, causing temporary paralysis and manufactured by Taser Inc. It is mandatory for every use of the taser to be reported and recorded, and for the appropriateness of that use to be assessed. Tasers are only carried by properly certified constabulary and authorized officer employees when this has been approved.
I look forward to catching up with you next time. All the best.